Have you ever met someone who walks into a room and instantly changes the energy? Someone who smiles through storms, finds lessons in losses, and somehow makes you believe everything will be okay? You probably thought they were just lucky. They are not. Their brain is wired differently, and today I am going to show you exactly how. Here is something that will shock you. Positive people are not positive because life is easy for them. In fact, research from the University of California found that genuinely positive people have often experienced more adversity than the average person. So what separates them from everyone else? It is not their circumstances. It is their psychology. And by the end of this video, you will understand exactly what happens inside the mind of a positive person, and more importantly, how you can start thinking the same way. Before we dive deep, let me tell you something personal. 2 years ago, I hit the lowest point of my life. I lost a relationship I thought would last forever. My career was stagnant. My confidence was shattered. I remember sitting alone in my room at 3 in the morning, staring at the ceiling, wondering if things would ever change. Then one day, I stumbled upon a lecture about positive psychology. Not the toxic kind that says just smile and everything magically fixes itself. Real science. I started applying one small principle each week. Within 6 months, my entire reality shifted. Not because my problems disappeared, but because my brain learned to process them differently. Everything I am about to share changed my life, and I genuinely believe it can change yours too. Let us start with the brain itself. Positive people have higher baseline levels of 3 critical neurotransmitters: serotonin, dopamine, and oxytocin. But here is the fascinating part. These chemicals did not just appear randomly. Positive people unknowingly train their brains to produce them. Every time they choose gratitude over complaint, every time they choose hope over despair, they are literally rewiring their neural pathways. Neuroscientists call this neuroplasticity. The brain physically changes shape based on repeated thoughts. Think about that for a moment. Your thoughts are not just abstract ideas floating in your mind. They are architects building the physical structure of your brain, one thought at a time. Now I need to stop here and destroy a myth that has been ruining people's lives for decades. Society tells you that positive people are naive, that they are delusional, that they ignore reality and live in a fantasy world. This is completely and absolutely wrong. Studies from the American Psychological Association prove that positive people actually assess risks more accurately than negative people. Why? Because negativity triggers your amygdala, your brain's fear center, which clouds judgment and distorts perception. Positive people think clearly because their prefrontal cortex, the rational brain, is fully activated. So the next time someone tells you that being realistic means being negative, understand they are not being realistic. They are being neurologically hijacked. Every single second, your brain receives approximately 11 million bits of sensory information, but it can only consciously process about 50. That means your brain is constantly choosing what to focus on. Positive people have trained their reticular activating system to filter for opportunities, solutions, and beauty. Negative people filter for threats, problems, and danger. Same world, completely different experience. 2 colleagues receive the same critical feedback from their boss. One spirals into self-doubt for weeks. The other writes down 3 improvements and moves forward by lunch. Same feedback, different filter. Positive people are not emotionally numb. They feel pain, frustration, and sadness just like everyone else. Psychologist Susan David calls the difference emotional agility. Positive people feel negative emotions, but refuse to set up permanent residence inside them. They acknowledge the emotion, understand its message, and consciously choose their next response. They treat emotions like visitors, not roommates. True positivity means feeling everything fully, but refusing to let temporary emotions make permanent decisions. Martin Seligman, the father of positive psychology, discovered something groundbreaking. Positive people have a specific explanatory style. When something bad happens, they see it as temporary, specific, and external. When something good happens, they see it as permanent, universal, and personal. Negative people do the exact opposite. A positive person fails an exam and thinks, "I did not study enough this time." A negative person thinks, "I am stupid and will never succeed." Same event, radically different interpretation that shapes every future decision. Harvard research published in the British Medical Journal tracked over 4,000 people for 20 years. They discovered happiness spreads through social networks up to 3 degrees of separation. Your friend's friend's friend can influence your mood without you ever meeting them. Positive people instinctively protect their social environment. They invest in elevating relationships and create distance from chronic negativity. This is not selfishness. This is psychological survival. Viktor Frankl, a psychiatrist who survived the Holocaust, wrote that survivors of concentration camps were not the physically strongest. They were the ones who had meaning, a reason to endure. Positive people create purpose deliberately. They set goals, serve others, and build legacies. This sense of meaning acts as an unbreakable psychological anchor during life's inevitable storms. So here's the truth nobody tells you. Positivity is not a gift. It is a decision. It is a muscle you strengthen daily. Choose your focus. Regulate your emotions. Reframe your failures. Guard your circle. Find your purpose. Remember my story from the beginning. I was not born positive. I built it, and you can too. You do not need to change your life to become positive. You need to become positive to change your life. Hit subscribe right now. Share this with someone who needs it today. Drop a comment telling me which section hit you the hardest. I read every single one. I will see you in the next video.